this week, it will provide the updates on what's happening across the government of Salone. Today, we get a high-powered panel. We don't just be joined by the Chief Immigration Officer, with the Honorable Kanneh. I want to make we today people in fact today now we don't get the most online question than so far. So you tell you say the interest beaucoup. We get on my immediate left the Deputy Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Deputy Justice Minister na Salone. We are the Honorable Alpha Cisse Esquire. They can provide updates on justice sector reforms na Salone. When I hand over the mic to Honorable Alpha Cisse, I will tell you more about my relationship with this man. And I'm one of the finest public service officials that will get, one of the people that we don't sacrifice a lot. I mean, our panel gets all really fine, exceptional individuals. The chairperson of the Stellar Human Rights Commission, Salone, we're very proud of Human Rights Commission in work, Madam Nasu Ndanema. Naingo can provide updates on the human rights situation of the country. Before we get into all that, as usual, I will provide quick highlights on something that will happen across the government of Salone. We all know, say His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio just concluded a very high-level official state visit to the People's Republic of China. During the president's stay, he held very high-level meetings with the government, including with the Premier of China, His Excellency Li Qiang, and the Chairman of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress in China. President Bio and First Lady then be hosted by the President of China, His Excellency Xi Jinping, and they engage on plenty important conversations. President Xi announced 50 million economic and technical assistance support to Salone and 20 million debt cancellation and about 1,500 tons of food assistance to Salone. We don't see the press release where the press secretary and the director of communications and State House to make available. The delegation signed plenty MOU then between the two governments for continue for solidify the relationship, and we will benefit Salone, we feed Salone, and we agricultural initiative. President Bio take part by the first China Salone Investment Forum. We bring together multiple players in the China Chamber of Commerce, and President Bio be deliver the keynote address. President Bio also visited plenty other top facilities in China, including the steel factory. And they look at how we go take advantage of the expertise which China gets for advanced wheel industry in Salone. More news on the state visits you go find if you follow the press secretary, the former deputy minister. He don't provide very accurate and timely updates, so we will continue for share the one in our page. I also just want to announce the Honorable Minister for Tourism and Cultural Affairs, Madam Nabila Tunis, been signed an MOU with the World Monument Fund for restoration of the old Frobe College edifice in Clinton. The ministry, through the Monuments and Relics Commission, signed this memorandum with the implementing partner for bring back the history of the Frobe College, who are not one of the, and therefore the ticket price they don't go up and nobody know the can Salone. This simply a fake news. We don't bring the Minister of Transport here. We don't bring the head of the Sierra Leone Civil Aviation Authority, Madam Musaya Obag. You don't can explain. We don't put out plenty press statements there on this issue. Yes, there was a revision of fees which go into effect March 1. But like I will be explaining to people, that most of those fees, not to the only factor the way they determine your price. Multiple other things they determine price. And government of Salone don't do the other thing than they for bringing the price can down. Competition. Ethiopian Airways they begin can Salone in May, for example. We did in conversation with other international airlines then for begin can. Kenya Airways don't increase the number of flights into Salone. So the investment they would make in that airport still lead to benefits, and people in the city benefits as well in other areas them because of together. But waiting clear, no airport tax where you pay, price no go up. Where you travel, if you don't buy your tickets 3-6 months ago, you don't need for worry. That same ticket, the price not go. Then they call you say, hey brother, your tickets if you don't buy, the money don't go up. That ain't a fake news. The ticket remains the ticket. And the $25 we balance pay, 1 cent no add param. Now that same $25 day you pay across. And waiting civil aviation also make clear now that if you book early, actually ticket prices could be even cheaper. So this idea we put anyway and say we put out, we'll do Google search, we ask people to do the Google search on the same date and then see the price and go down. Because for the last time, ticket price not determined by one green tax. It's determined by multiple factors. Now it make you get place in Europe where you pay $40 for move from one place to the other. Because the airline and the factor multiple things, including competition, the quality we get, and how many flights in the pass. So just want to make that clear so family will get one more final issue before I count on to my panel. Persistence issue, people don't only talk, especially in social media and some activists, about what happened with the University of Salone. Last time, I be host the Honorable Minister for Higher Education. We do a special press conference. We discuss this issue. Legality, illegality, what are their points? Now, the persistent news now that the minister don't jeopardize the interest of the student there and that somehow the student will not go graduate. This is not true. The graduation dates been not set for April, long before all of this saga. And the minister Wale Fambule no say that dates go be met. All waiting need for happen between now and April go happen. And if you are students you do out there, you go able for graduate. Just before Ukaya will get news about progress in the strike action, where lecturers in the public university they may not embark on because of the leadership of the minister. So yes, government responsible for backlog of severance benefits and promotions, and the ministries of finance and higher education, and they work for clear them backlog here as quickly as possible. The minister appoints in consultation with all the partners, acting vice chancellor and principal in the person of Professor A. Alebi, we don't start in work. The University of Salone Courts is being reconstituted. Graduation ceremony we plan for April, they go on as planned. Matriculation for students we scheduled for this week and next week. Now the strike actually I just mentioned, now we don't delay them. But even that, we're hopeful that the ceremonies are going to be conducted next week. Same applied for planned exams, we go proceed as planned. So all them people the way they go and talk social media rights, right, this, that's it, university and stand still and all that. We really want to tell when I say not true. And if I want to continue for ask quick questions and talk to us directly about any issues before our reports, and we will provide the facts. Now, make a council me distinguished panel for can discuss critical issues where they affect we country. Today, as I say, we get the Honorable Alpha Sise, Deputy Minister of Justice, Patricia Nasu Danema, Chairman, Human Rights Commission of Salone, and the Honorable Alusine Kanneh, we are the Chief Immigration Officer. Fantastic public servants them. I want to start with the minister, because I want to start at the level of the Honorable Minister. You know, one of the first things we kind of the press conference. So I want to welcome you particularly. The one that we know this Deputy Minister, Nami Bra, Nami comrade of the Radicals Club, and full disclosure, I'm a groomsman. I can also talk, say, what the married Naina be me groomsman and even chair my wedding. So, yes, we have a particularly personal relationship, and a man who I get deep respect for. In professionalism, in track record, I think is stellar. Una uno, say, an icon in the international justice realm. You don't work for special courts, you don't work for plenty international institutions. Them. the courts in The Hague. He don't work there. He don't work for um, the Open Society Initiative. So this is a man way. And last, before you take on this job, he will work for the U.S. government. Now be a U.S. diplomat. That's alone. So now one of the people that will sacrifice a lot for can serve Salone. So Honorable Alpha say, I want you 7 minutes for say, what's in your portfolio as Deputy Justice Minister? And talk specifically on the reform them we will not focus on in the justice sector. And also you're passionate about this issue, which you all so far and waiting people in for expect in terms of changes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister Chegnoba. Onago Biami, not we all use for say Chegnoba. Plenty of we elect for say Siba. You know, even when we don't get together and several spaces outside this country, you know, you get people like call them Siba for short. So it's really great to be here. Thank you for the honor. My first time indeed for dinner the press conference, but I don't follow the press conference very closely. So if we count the people that can watch online, are they among them? There are times where I can share my feedback with the Honorable Minister, and as you say, you know, week in, week out, you know, this they continue and the quality they grow by the week. So one for say on behalf of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, and on me on personal behalf, one for say well done, and make we continue for do this, make we continue for grow the communication between government and the public. So it's great to be here. I mean, as the Honorable Minister mentioned, me one of the people that we joined government following the re-election of His Excellency the President, President Julius Maada Bio, and a really great for there as Deputy Justice Minister. Of course, you know, a lot of people know about the Office of Attorney General and Minister of Justice. The Attorney General is Mr. Mohammed Lamin Tarawali, and me, the Deputy. And in terms of portfolio, you know, the way, whilst, you know, we work together, you know, the ministry, that's very, very clear. And the minister, they provide leadership in everything we they do. But we also realize, say, you know, there's a need for make we all take a lead on various things. And so that is why the Attorney General be don't ask me for make I take the lead on strengthening justice delivery, you know, or working with the justice sector institutions, not the country. So, you know, yes, right, for say, you know, I focus more on the justice ministry part of that office there, because, you know, as we know, we get a fusion as Salon where we get Attorney General and Minister of Justice. In this position, I don't handle various things. I mean, one of the people with the president appoint to the cross-party committee on electoral reforms, which I serve with other government officials and, you know, with brothers and sisters na the APC for make we look at the challenges we done in the electoral system, and then use this process for build a strong electoral architecture for this country. I want to say that because I don't be identified with that by several people. But more importantly, you know, for the purpose of this press conference, really don't they manage the justice sector reform process for this country. If I can take a step back, we all don't hear about the big 5 game changers where the president don't talk about plenty. We don't hear a lot of other government ministers don't talk about them. And after the president announced the big 5 game changers, it been see the need for make some slight adjustment, because the president watch say if we make all the investments in the, you know, in food security, human capital development, you know, we get job creation, information technology, etc., etc. If we not strengthen the justice sector, or if we not strengthen the justice delivery process, then there'll be a question of whether we have value for money. You know, very possible say we'll make all our investments in other things and then it will crumble. And so that is why the president see the need for make adjustments and say instead of just doing public sector reform, it's a public and justice sector reform. So justice sector reform is part of the big 5 game changers for this country. And so with the Attorney General in directives, I am media supervise that particular process there. And so when we say justice sector reform, what do they look at? First, now for note say, when the war come to an end in 2002, Salone actually take up justice sector reform as a post-war initiative. And so, of course, a lot of people go down here, about JSDP, and then, of course, later come to JSC, or Justice Sector Coordination Office. Before now, we don't get 4 generations of the justice sector reform strategy. The 4th generation expired last year. So now we did develop the 5th generation justice sector reform strategy. And we did do this at the time when the president said don't put them right up the priority list as one of the game changers for this country. So as a start, we don't constitute a technical working group where they work with the ministry and we make sure say there's representation from all the various justice sector institutions, the judiciary, the AG's office, Human Rights Commission, Legal Aid Board, Office of Ombudsman, Law Reform Commission, etc., etc. But we also don't see say we need to get other ministries involved, and so that is why we get representation from the Ministry of Political and Public Affairs, where they manage the public sector reform process. We get representation from the Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs. We get from Ministry of Youth, we get from Ministry of Social Welfare, we get from Internal Affairs, and of course on the other agencies. So we're putting together an ambitious package for reform the justice sector in this country. And waiting that entail, we based on we discussion so far, the strategy we develop, get various objectives, and then of course get outputs. So the first objective really for this effort here, so for say we increase access to quality justice. And when we talk about access to quality justice, we look at them in the context of 2 strands. One, when we can talk about the justice sector, a lot of people they look at the court system where we get in this country, but really the percentage of the population where they access the formal court system is very small. A significant percentage of the population, they operate outside the formal justice system. So we consider all of that and see how we strengthen the justice delivery process. So for that, we go make investment in increasing the number of operational justice sector institutions. We go strengthen community engagement in the justice delivery process. We go look at reforming the chiefdom police system. We go look at how we go expand the provision of legal aid in this country. A lot of side and the way the courts and they reach, some other side and the way, they want for engage, within these structures, like, through community paralegals, etc. We go also talk about improved case management, and how we use that for expedite the justice systems in the country. A lot of time people can complain about cases that they delay in the country. We'll go work on that. We'll go strengthen systems and processes, including for witnesses and victims where they come through the court system. We go enhance adherence to human rights and the rule of law. We go strengthen capacity for improved service delivery in the justice sector. That will include investment in legal education. We go use this process for reform with correctional service architecture. So it will really live up to a real name. When we say correctional service, it means correctional service. And that will mean actually making investment in the inmates and where they so when they come out, they're able to engage productively in a society. But also, we'll try to make sure, say, we address the issue of congestion. So you're not only taking out, but we put systems in place for CCA, get so much people to go into the system. We will get for improve some of we laws them. When all go down here about the Criminal Procedure Act, we don't take step now for revise, and we put before Parliament. We really go alter in a great way, in a positive way, and we enter justice sector delivery process. And unlike other years, this time around, when we develop this plan, so we will make sure, we back them up with an implementation plan. So we're very clear on how we implement them, we will cost them, how we implement this over the next 5 to 10 years. And we'll make sure, we actually evaluate yourself, we use the process for land and on land. So we'll get like a monitoring and evaluation plan, as we implement all of this. So I'll pause here for now.
Thank you.
And we'll go wait for further directives from the minister.
Thank you so much, Honorable Alpha Sese. We don't hear plenty. One big news that in the Big Five, also just public sector, and the public and justice sector reform. That's one big news we President Bill don't include. because we all know, say, access to justice important, a foundation for democracy. And Mr. Sisi and with the leadership of the AG, and they work on very concrete ways for ensure say that thing they happen as alone, and we continue for advanced justice. I have come to you, Madam Chair, and then I go close with the Honorable Chief Immigration Officer. Madam Chair, the big news is that this year, the Human Rights Commission, they turn 20 years since Salone set up a Human Rights Commission. That's a big news. I think last year we'll also get the news say, una maintain or achieve grade A status. This means say, the international community, they review the institutions here, check una adherence, the quality of the work una they do. So I want first on behalf of the people of Salone for congratulate you for achieving that incredible standard there. But what I think people want to know is within in una own estimation at the status of human rights na Salone. What are the issues them which you don't address so far and which you not hope for address in una 20th year? You get 7 minutes.
So thank you So thank you, Mr. Minister. First of all, Mr. Kwanse, thank you for inviting the Commission for Kaya. I can't forget represent them, and this is a platform for journalists who themselves go ahead for disseminate the message. Yes, the Human Rights Commission, they can 20 years, that is true. We came into existence in 2004, following two recommendations. One, a recommendation from the Leone Peace Agreement, and also the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. We all know, say, war begins in this country, and we get several attempts by international bodies and also internally for let peace be restored into Sierra Leone. So at the end of the day, the Leone Peace Agreement of 1999 been recommend, say, let we establish a National Human Rights Commission in the country, noting that people not being get side for secret redress. They need side for go lay complain where something among them. So they recommend so for establish them. Then inside the same Leone Peace Agreement, they also say, let government of Sierra Leone establish a Truth and Reconciliation Commission. We go give people the platform to express themselves. And all man knows that the TRC will bring together some victims that we can talk with happened to them during the war. And then we also get witnesses. We also can say, yes, what this person they talk not true. So that leads to the establishment of this commission where you get a mandate for protect and also for promote human rights. When we talk about human rights protection, we are talking about law. And when you talk about human rights promotion, you look at issues for with awareness raising, making people that actually know what are the laws in the country so that we're all going to behave in line with human rights standards. Now, the vision of the commission, they say, we want to see a Sierra Leone who say the culture of human rights prevail, the people respect the rule of law, and then we all live in peace and dignity. And I have to emphasize on the issue of the people respect the rule of law, and we all live in peace and dignity. The commission gets several functions. One, as a commission, where they receive complaints, we also they inquire into. Inquire into means say, if possible, not in complaint, but we see a situation where the situation got the potential for affect the enjoyment of rights, the commission can also conduct investigations into such. And then we raise several public awareness all over the country, within our schools, we do public lectures, the universities, within communities, and we also, they go into some offices for raise awareness on human rights issues. And then the commission also, they remind the government of Sierra Leone on a reporting obligations to international human rights treaties to which the country is a party. We got for no say, we not stand alone, we're a part of international community. Now, like all the human rights laws, then where they go with the sign, where they say we can't now have Salone, we can't ratify them. And subsequently, with the domesticator, it don't become local. So because of that, you define that say after 3 to 4 years, it depends on the law you sign. Government, the international body, they come back for ask you, what is the status of implementation in relation to the provisions that were highlighted inside a particular law with the DUAM. And one of the functions of remind the government of their reporting obligations there to the international community. And then we also get a function where they review existing legislation. For example, the law then they might one for watch and foresee if you really get human rights issues inside. One quick example I could just go and get for the Sexual Offences Act of 2012, where the Human Rights Commission been play a very big role for make sure that it's reviewed and make it become more human rights friendly. And then we also they collaborate with other partners and when they intervene in the partnership group. So go able for the matter in this. So now as a commission, going forward to 20 years, we don't establish several offices all over the place. And then one of the directorates, when I the Directorate of Complaints, Investigations, and Legal Services, they receive complaints from the general public. We want for making an say when they inform this commission, they will also say now a peace consolidation structure. When somebody feel aggrieved, you come to the commission, you forward the complaints. And we get the directorate now, all the regions, what they did with. Now, over the past years, we find out, say, the complaints that they come to the commission, they be get between 1 to 200 ranging. So now if you check the records of the commission, go see, say, then they move now even up to 300 to 400 complaints coming to the attention of the commission. Now, what even then they be? Because people don't get confidence in the operations of the commission. So now when they get such matters, they bring a country for make we actually deal with them.
Okay. Madam Chair, thank you so much. I want to just ask a follow-up question. In general, in your estimation, what's in the status of human rights in Salon? I just want a direct answer. Which you current.
Now, Honorable Minister, I don't give direct answer. Okay. The reason we get various types of rights. We get various types of rights. We've been doing well in one area. You see other area where they make efforts, but we still lag behind.
So who would they do well?
Pardon?
Who would they do well?
Now, if you now on the civil and political rights, okay, as far as I'm concerned, this country is well. Now, wait to make a decision. If you, first of all, what would they assess the human rights situation of a country? We know they look at isolated cases. Because we don't get several situations where somebody say, this now don't happen here. Human rights not in this country. Not to so they assess the human rights situation of a country. Now, how you assess that? You first of all, you look at the legal framework. Waiting at the laws, the way they're in place for the people to enjoy the rights. Because for them to enjoy rights, you need a legal standing. That is one. And then secondly, you get to look at waiting at the structures the government have put in place for them to enjoy rights. And thirdly, you also go for look at waiting at the efforts the government they make for make sure say people then still enjoy their human rights. So that do we look at them. Perfect. Now,
I'll left and the force because we get plenty follow-up questions. I mean, I want to make clear that what I try to do with this platform is to reflect the views of the people of Salon, and we wanna come for make sure so we ask the question them and they wanna answer the question the people them with this country one gets. Now we come to the Honorable Alusine Kanneh, when the country's in Chief Immigration Officer. Honorable, first of all, congratulations. Today, I go na immigration. Ablans go na immigration. You no need for be magic man for no say you don't work some wonders yonder. Structure, order, system, they in place. I want to tell you thank you. As a citizen force, I want to tell you thank you. I want to commend you because you see visible transformation since you don't take on this role. It's a big role, but it's a role where one thing they can say the man they meets the role. You and the role on a come together, on a meet up. Fine one. This is the first come na this platform. People want to know what's not the reform them, what's in the vision we get, what you don't achieve, and waiting them for expect going forward from your tenure as the country, one of in foremost public officials, because you lead an institution we the interface of a country with the rest of the world. We require security, credibility, and all that in there. So you get 7 minutes, Honorable. Share with me your vision and the steps that we don't take.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. Thank you, the Deputy Justice Minister. Thank you, Madam Nanso, the Human Rights Commissioner or Commission. The Deputy Minister also, thank you for coming. The Fourth Estate that I have respect for, thank you very much for coming. You guys are vulnerable, of course. You guys are important, as always. Thank you for coming also. In the first place, I want to thank you for bringing Kanneh soon at this podium, for talk to the public and all they are, for what we tell the people what we don't do. The second thing is, I want also to tell the President thanks for appointing me as the Chief Immigration Officer. I can tell you this, Mr. Minister, the press conference is important for public hearing. It is important for governance. I mean, communication with the people, for and day to day. Now, when they appoint me as CIO, of course, this is my expertise. I worked now on immigration for so long. I did my course with immigration at University of Bergen. I came to this country, I come here. Oh, it's a wonderful. Make sure say we transform the institution called immigration, and that's what I wanted. Now, when they appoint me as CIO, when President appoint me as CIO, one of the things I want to make an institution overcrowding. People be to go for go get passport. It is here and say for even navigate for enter at the institution will be a problem. It's been difficult for entering. It's been difficult for to go and do the process of acquiring your passport. But then when I go there, what I see now the volunteers will be there in their numbers. You see and say the volunteers will be there in their numbers, even more than the permanent staff that were there at the institution. You see, volunteer, they call it volunteer. It became a chaotic institution. And when I go there, one thing I find out was that we need to do something about the volunteers. And I can tell you this, the volunteers be involved with politicians will be also, I mean, people when them people then wait and give for volunteer the institution and they. I mean, you have other stakeholders also. But then we go for sacrifice. Follow made the institution better. Important because this country has sacrifice. If we not sacrifice of Sierra Leone will go before. So I make sure say I talk to every volunteer every day. I engage them. I talk to them with respect. I tell them, say, look, we need to do something. You not permanent now. You not get a job now. You just the volunteer. Some other volunteer for 10 years. We ask why you know I'm going to now one day. Why you know I'm going to the NRA na other institution? They say no now one day. The reason is simple. The reason is simple. The institutions we don't become an institution where chaotic for everybody to go for get passport. Person they go say this person go post a passport of 4 million or say 4,000 in millions. Well, not to say B. The passport is 2 million or 2.2. The volunteer go negotiate for possibly for another person. They go now go take money from person. I mean, unnecessarily. They go do the applications for you. Sometimes you find out say they even see them, they disappear. You go call, you need to that volunteer at all. So what I do, I make sure say I eradicate a particular part of the lawlessness at the institution. I make sure say I talk to them. They be difficult, but they left go. Now, when they don't go, what I put in place was that I look at how the institution for operate. Because I can tell when I was in the call immigration, you see, there's one thing people don't know about immigration. Over the years, we don't pay attention to immigration, the institution called immigration over the years. Everybody just they go for doing them. But that is one of the most important security institutions in the country. It's a gateway. At the gateway, Dandy, you all there for navigate, for Komoya, for go longe, for flights. Someone has to be responsible. That is me, the chief immigration officer. The visas, for example. You can find out, say, people, they come, even people with fly for going in and out of Sierra Leone. Their concerns always about immigration. You see, when America is talking about politics, their politics or political messages immigration. Migration also is taking place around the world, which is also important. So now, let me go. What I do is this. The crowd on the sea, but you see it again. I created a platform for them that is also important for those that are going for the process of passport, not to volunteers at all. They're the one where they go for get passport. These customers where they go. Before, there be the crowd at the corridor. You see and say it was chaotic for even navigate for go through, where you go for go visit. But I don't reduce them, and with respect. Now, there was a basement where they done. Now the building. The basement, now be the place where they throw garbage. You know, a lot of other things, but they go there. When I come, I see and say, immigration and security institution, and there has to be decorum. So what I do? I make sure, say, we all come together with my team. I'm working with a team, and that is important for me. I'm not alone. That's one thing about me that I work with a team. Now, I make sure, say, we procure, we cut people then forget all rid of them until then they try all things, garbage. More than five trucks come for can't take the and can't go. Then they say, kukuru. Then I make sure I drive the all. I talk to them with respect. I say, this is immigration. It should be immigration for all of us. Then go. Now, what I do, I procure benches, about more than 400 benches for customers, for their respect. Toilets be so crazy. I make sure say They redo everything again for the customers because they're also important. You get women where they go, you got important people they go for go get them passport. We clear all and day. Today you see and say then they but they don't have the basement. I brought in a system where a PA system it up. The customer care before we get the long archaic timber we be there. We pull out and we bring in glass where we make sure say people the one way they work with immigration, they will see customers from outside. We clear out and we make them clean for people. Now, this PA system is like what I'm holding, my mics and I have in my hand. You see and say the immigration officer they up, the customer they done, but they talk to them. They tell them say, Mr. Siba, go up for go get your capture your biometric. Now 20 they go up now. Now up there will do 30 chairs. 30 chairs, that line will be the that line not there again. Now the line not there again, that's the chairs will make for them people then they for sit down. Inside, you don't see there again. They sit down there, they go capture. Now 20 they go. Wait till 20 go, they exit, then go, they exit, other people then come. Who say come on, we come on, go up, you know go there again, now others say they come on. So that is how we have been doing it. Because it is important for Lowy, and talents and they for law even make sure say the environment conducive for staff them and for one they go for what they do. Now, the other thing we do now for upgrade upload the application forms also. Now, the national identification number, the new number, we don't make sure say before you know be there, when we can be there. But I don't put it in place because a lot of things that go on with our passport that we have to also take charge of. It is important. You see, national identity is important for law to take charge of them. Because you know, if you don't take charge of them, we country go there in the turmoil. People might not even know what I know in terms of where they say security as far as my institution is concerned. National passport or national identity, it is a security threat. I can tell you that for sure. Lord, someone move from here and go to Turkey or Russia for say, I go visit or I take a passport unnecessarily, not just really, I go use them the wrong way. It has to do with our nation. Sometimes they blacklist you also. Your country, they blacklist them. It is important that we know that. So now, what I don't do, I want to make sure say the national identification number don't come into play. If you don't have that, of course, everybody now got to register with the NCRA. The NCRA is in charge of, all of what I'm saying here. So if you don't get down there, you don't get a passport. You don't even go through the applications. Now, we don't bring in an interview. We go for interview also for me, for all know if you're a Sierra Leonean. Because the institution, as I say, it has to do with national security, our national identity, Now, with the interview for me, even as Sierra Leonean, most of them, would interview them. Another thing the way I will count briefly, possibly, because people, they meet me, they call me, they talk to me about, we're brothers, when the Lebanese and the Indians, our brothers, them. We're all there together. But I want to say at this podium today, for me to know, say, nobody know their immigration, plus myself, we get problem with them. No. The problem I get with them is this. And I want to know this. We all deserve respect, and we're all citizens of this country. In as much as you don't go get citizenship through the other means of the legal means, but the process of you acquiring the passport. Now, what they are doing is this, most of them, not all of them, most of them. They no one go appear. They no one go appear for capture biometric. They want to do that in business places and spend money and get passport for free. And that is one thing I won't put my foot down for say it will not happen. They have a problem with me because of that. But it's because if Dr. Alpha Wuri, they go in our office, in immigration, for make sure say capture. If Siba they go, for the minister they go, for make sure say capture. If the minister for they go, make sure say capture. All of us. Me say when I don't go capture. Me, I'm chief immigration officer. I don't go sit down before the camera, so they snap me from your passport. So I believe so. All equal. I'm quite sure. Correct? All equal. So that problem to me, possibly they don't know this. If you want your passport, come to the office, appear, come and apply and go through the process. It is important. The business as usual is no more. It's no more. Now, the other thing I will say is this. I don't tell when I say, my leadership, they make sure say we transform immigration for the better. There's something called the Migration Information Data Analysis. That's the MIDAS. When I come, we see the borders are porous, and the borders are important for us. You see, immigration, people always think immigration are only for passport. No, it's not. It's not. We have more than 800 border crossings points in this country. More than 800. In fact, we don't have enough staff for me to make sure say they mind all the places than they because of the resources that we don't have. But with me, I'm quite sure I'm trying to put those things in place. Because most of the things that happen, people that navigate through borders would even know that they cross. Now, what we don't do, I make sure say I engage the IOM because this is one thing that I know it is important for our country, our borders. I engage the IOM, and the IOM came to visit, and I engage them. They pick us a call. So I tell them, say, look, we need to forget these functions. I don't see when I get the capacity. They contacted Geneva. Geneva came, they visited me also. They came to my office, we all sit down, we discuss. Now, I can tell when I say, if you cross for Guinea, I didn't know in my office, you don't cross for Guinea. I have a system in my office that will track you if you are crossing to Conakry. If they exit, I don't know. We are also doing the same thing at Longue, very soon at Longue. Longue go also. If you cross for Gambia, Senegal, across the Atlantic, I will know for sure that you have crossed traveling out of Sierra Leone. What to make we do this? Now, because Interpol work with my institution. It is important. And the police, of course, the internal police, the security apparatus that we have, the Central Intelligence, the ONS, and the police itself. We collaborate to communicate. There are bad people who cross our borders unnecessarily. They want to escape to other countries. Now, I can able to tell and say, yes, Mr. A don't cross for Guinea, and Mr. B don't exit for Sierra Leone. That's more of the reason why today I get the Midas for the first time in history. Now, the other thing I could tell you is this. We don't tighten the borders. As it happened before, very recently somebody called me, when I very senior stakeholder also, where impossible one cross for Guinea, they interrogate him. And nobody happened. And the person called me say, me family on the one cross, but they're not allowed. Reason I will not tell you. I make sure say we'll put those things in place for make sure say those people then they not for cross number so for go because sometimes some people then they run for a reason. I mean, they run for a reason. Sometimes you don't explain everything when it has to do with security business. You understand? But sometimes you have people who want cross border unnecessarily because they have other issues in Sierra Leone. Now, because of the things that we have put in place, now we are not tightening the border very seriously. I can tell you one thing again. The international cooperation, it is important for my institution. Very, very, very important. Now, I traveled very recently to Belgium, Brussels. I signed an MOU with the Belgian people. What I do? Then kind of my office I invited them, they came to visit me. When they come, what do? We signed the MOU. The MOU contains a lot of good things for this country. One of the things that they don't agree for do for me for the first time is for training with staff for them. You know, immigration, I can tell me staff and say, not to any can place. Not only for go process passport. Majority of my own people, what they know is just 90% for process passport. You come, you don't come for passport. Okay, come, I write your name and that's it. No. Now, what you don't do, they don't agree for train them. Very soon, we'll go with staff to go Belgium for go train. For make sure they come back for do the right thing for the institution. I don't engage foreign affairs. I don't engage the brother way they in charge of the academy. That is Student Army. I'm not in touch with Student Army for make sure say we use the academy accordingly because it cannot be an academy for us, but they'll just be an academy without using them. Now, I don't make sure say I don't engage them. This is my expertise and this is what I think I have to use to make Sierra Leone better as far as my institution is concerned. So I make sure say Solidarity, I don't engage the foreign affairs for make sure say we start for train, we start for them. Mr. Minister, made the audience know the institution is critical for all of us. All my way they are so now what team institution and they carry them as far as traveling out of this country is concerned. And carrying the ETC, we get the ETC, the working permit, the visas, the passports, made no small. Give me 2 minutes, please. It is important. Now, I can tell you one thing. That thing will be the happen. That makes us, I make us say, please, sir. The thing will be the happen. Where they come McKinney, they can't say passport now for can't process passport. It's no more in the very near future. We'll stop them. We'll go for decentralized the process of passport application. This year, the end of this year, Kenema, the guy in station, we are imposing from Kenema only for Kamla Frito again, for Kam process passport again. Bo, the same thing. Bo, no, I'm coming, I'm not done, sir. Okay. Bo, McKinney, the same thing. So then 3 places and they, you need to come Kailao, you stop Kenema, do the process. But of course, you will not receive your passport in Kenema. The process will go on, applications will come to Freetown, with the process they will return the passports. In fact, let me tell you one thing again what I want to put in place. I don't summon the head of post office. The post office. You know, we know in those days how post office don't function. Also, all be small, someone that'll be the receive letters. Them. You get your friend somewhere now, Freetown, they say letter. You don't receive any. You get your brother, you don't receive any. Not so. But now it don't become dormant. Now, you know, one of the brothers who are also active at that institution, Nakata, Mr. Kata. I engage him. Say, one make una active. Very soon, we will not decentralize the process of passport applications. We will make sure that we engage the post office. Now, then I'm going to take to passport them. Of course, they carry them to the provinces to the right people. That's one thing I've done so far. Less than 6 months. Now, with the travel digital, I'm now engaging the right people for law digitize the institution. It is important for law make sure, make sure say happen. The resident permit, the landing permit, the visas on arrival, emergency travel certificate also. It is important for law make sure say we put all of them in place for make sure say the right thing happen. Because if we not do them, and then you go see and say a lot of people they go into a system where they don't even get anything for do time. And then we they make sure say not only national, even international, we they get for gas station in terms of decentralizing the process. Washington they get. In Washington, Australians over the Washington, go apply now for passport now Washington. You don't need for call again at Freetown or get for from what call proxy. Use proxy for make sure say you get passport. No, we do the same thing in London. London, the one where they live in the United Kingdom, where you make sure say you can London, you can apply for the passport in London. You don't need to go again for the embassy. But there will be is in an office, a station where they purely for making sure the process of passport takes place in those areas. There are more to it. Mr. Minister, if you allow me, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, thank you very much. I tell you, I say, when the man and the position, they meet up, you they see a very different outcome. Una they sense not just the passion, but the commitment and as I say, the expertise. I want to challenge anybody, say, go na immigration now. If you don't go there 6 months, 1 year ago, you go there today. We see the talk, so not to theory, a practice. I can always say to my own team, the most important thing is how people feel. Within the business of service as public officials. When people encounter your institution, you treat them with dignity. And now in immigration, you they feel that. President Bio envision that. With this very fine young man they implement, and we don't hear the comprehensive set of reforms and transformation we don't put in place. Now with the hand on the microphone. As usual, we start with the one that we don't engage via the digital process. Today, we receive over 30 questions online. And when I know say my commitment I ask all, not so? So, because I want to encourage more people to use the platform. But for my panelists, the way they do, I ask you a set of questions. All some of them, frankly, are the same area. So you will just summarize the answer. And you just put them together, you summarize, so that we'll give chance to the distinguished members of the Fourth Estate now as well. We'll let them ask their own question. First set of questions are for the Human Rights Commission. Okay, this question you already addressed some. Somebody they ask whether you can provide current status, overview of current status of human rights in Salone, which are the key human rights issues over the face. Again, if that question we don't already answer, you don't need to answer them. Okay? How does Human Rights Commission work for protect and promote human rights in Salone? I think you don't answer that. If you can highlight any recent successes or challenges with the Commission they face for safeguard human rights, how the Commission they collaborate with other government agencies then for advance human rights, witness some of the priority area then for the Commission, how the Commission they engage marginalized or vulnerable populations for ensure say rights are upheld, and whose role they do public awareness and education they play in the Commission in work for promote human rights. How the Commission they monitor, you already address some of that. Future plans, and waiting at your position on the lack of economic rights of our people against the Constitution of Salone. This person say we not get economic rights in my position. And then the person say, are those killed in McKinney and Pademba Road prison? Isn't that a human rights violation? How can the Commission address? Are there reforms to protect the law? This is now another question. And then the final one for you. He say whether you're concerned about issues of FGM and reported death of some girls. Are there places for judicial to create a platform for public petition committee through which citizens will bring their issues to the doorsteps of Parliament? Now summary answer I want because all them say they interconnected. I want you answer because I'm not going to since the question in Boku, then I'll move on, they will forget. So you do a summary quickly, 3 minutes, and then we can table them as well.
Okay, I think one important point we have been raised is that the Commission on the operate alone and they collaborate with other partners, them way they that the Human Rights Commission they act. So one way we will bring all the partners then together, for make sure we address human rights at the country. Because we don't make mention, say the commission getting jurisdiction within which they actually operate. Then the one we get for do with FGM related issues now concern for the commission. The one when this recent incident will happen na Cambia, we don't follow up. Even as of today, I even very much surprised for find out say the suspect still in prisons is still in a cell on the grounds that police not done investigation it. And they say it don't did it almost 15 to 20 days. When I got human rights violation because now the matter is supposed for be charged. For go forward. And then the other question get for do with if awareness raising they play a role. The thing is, ignorance of the law is no excuse. We know on several occasions they raise awareness to different communities that have been answering. So now, what's the difference what they make? We get a situation where we go do awareness raising at some schools on issues around early marriage. And to let's say happiness. We find out, say the next day we get some picking away come out from some schools. Then come it we say, Madam Chair, we come with issues. What not a concern when I go talking to we about early marriage? And me are young, I'm not ready for married it. So you see how that human rights information they go far until the commission gets for engaging families and we dissolve such a relationship. And then the other question again. The other question, Mr. Minister.
The question number two.
The question number two.
Question of FGM.
Now the question.
Address the FGM one.
Yeah, we don't know the FGM one.
Okay.
Then again, somebody make mention about the incident in McKinney. I'm from Nano say the commission don't do what we call a public inquiry because we get a requirement to do so. Instead, we complaint rules. And then we just don't do a public inquiry into the conduct of law enforcement officials. We did recently the report sealed, settled, it done, it then at the commission, but we get hierarchy. How will they present the report? We don't get the report to the public.
The reports be made public?
The report get for be made public, but get for engage appropriate authorities. I'm for say before we start the inquiry, we even go to the police officers them. We get police, we get military, we also deal with parliamentarians, we go to the office of the president, ombudsman, key stakeholders that is at the country for say where they can't undertake such an assignment. So we get that report already ready and soon to be published. But it got for be until we don't take the certain steps. We already don't got the plan how the dissemination will start. But because of one or two issues, we put a hold on them. We get for doing that recently.
Finally, are there reform plans for protest laws?
Now, under the issue of protest laws, now get and clear, say not to the commission to make law. But once where the commission they do, it review existing legislation. And also this issue around protests, we really can't say. Now, if you look at section 26 of the constitution of this country, it gives right for protest. But again, if you go back to the Public Order Act, what it is section 71, it make it very clear. Anybody want protest inside this country, you can forget the police permit. We don't get a lot of arguments around this area. This is my right. So wait till make I go take police permit. You get for no say, while you express your grievance, there are other people within the country will not get any concern about the issue you want to raise. So what if we they ask as a commission is that at the level of the police, when somebody writes an application, it's like engaging them and make it clear which routes you go on for use, and definitely who is the leader of this particular demonstration when I want to take a type of protest. Because we cannot go about accommodating faceless protest. If you know say you are man or woman enough, I'm sorry to say, you got an issue where they burn you, go to the authorities and express yourself. But we not go see with the engage. Now, Mr. Minister, let's just get 2 minutes. Mr. One thing important. So now, what to make it important?
I give you one.
Why, okay,
1 minute.
Why important for do so? Now, people going to protest, not to all get the same objectives. I just to make example now. People came out on 10th of August. Then said they demonstrate because of high cost of living. So I want to ask the question. So what's in lead them now to the looting of all the bikes that knocks our officer doing Waterloo? Now, with the same objective, so definitely you need the presence of the police, wait for guide your routes and make sure say people protest insanity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I like your very clear stance on these issues. Now make account to Deputy Minister of Justice. You said we get plenty of questions then, yeah? This person say what's made the judiciary they refuse for other custodial sentence they will come to corruption cases. Can the Deputy Minister update us regarding how many property will don't be confiscated so far on the COI recommendation? Waiting at the latest on the 34 hospital expansion and the Carrington Hospital, waiting happen to the ACC recovered funds. I wonder why they ask you ACC question them, but okay. Then say whether the money we former president and it's by Kuruma and Dr. Samura Kama be supposed to pay a few months back, they don't pay. waiting to happen, or waiting make the chance rebuild in case of Dr. Samora Kamara not call her up since the last hearing. Again, I don't know whose power you get on case that they call, but okay. Somebody say let you confirm whether the charges against former President Nkrumah don't been dropped as was requested by ECOWAS. Somebody also said the Solicitor General, in about 2 letters, reminded the lawyer of former President Nkrumah for the payment of the money will be ordered for pay for the appeals court. Whether the former president or adhere, I think similar to the question I asked earlier. Somebody say if the former president will be town tomorrow as promised by the government will continue with in trial. And for me clear, say not to government the promise, say what's in government promise. Because at least if they ask me a question, I'm here for read the question. No lie for me or no misquote me. Within the government, the promise now that we ready for go court tomorrow and the case they come up and now we to get control over. This is a democracy. We get independence of the judiciary. The judiciary grants somebody bail and give permission for left the country. We think of what happen tomorrow or not. Not we will tell you what think of happen. What we will tell you is the government will be in a court tomorrow and will be ready for present case. That's what we promise. And then they will not change. So we'll get updates on that. So we'll provide, but we'll allow the Deputy AG also to talk on this. Okay, then I last question, Deputy Justice Minister. So again, you don't need for go into every one of them, just summarize and let move.
Thank you very much, Minister. I don't even know if I get for summarize with a lot of them questions here, so really not for me office, you know. I go encourage, you know, people for ask about the justice sector reform process. You know, we talk about who side we go, who side want the 5-10 years from now, you know, with the justice delivery process. But to the specifics of this, I mean, for the judiciary in refusal, for issue out custodial sentences, again, this is a question for the judges. But the judges, as a lawyer, myself, I would say the judges, they be guided by the law. You know, we say the law give a judge the option, you know, as to A or B, in can make a determination, you know, based on the facts before him. And the judges then get guidelines, you know, where they go by. So maybe, you know, if at some point somebody there from the judiciary, una can ask that. Properties confiscated based on COI findings. One thing I go say is that at some point, actually, you know, as an office, you know, we put together a comprehensive report, you know, on the journey we don't work with the COI process, you know, and who say we did now, you know, and who say we see the process they go, you know, and we go definitely be in a position to provide the specifics of all of that. Kerry Town and ACC investigations, and monies to be paid by former President Nkrumah and Dr. Samora Kamara, and the chance rebuilding in relation to Dr. Samora Kamara. Those are for the ACC, you know, not for me. I'm not able to make any comments. So let's direct that to the ACC or the court. We make them findings, you know, the AG's office they present in case, you know, but for some of the issues yourself, at the ACC then present in case.
Okay.
So just one more, please. I mean, I'll take 1 minute. I'll take 30 seconds. For just buttress waiting the minister say. We go talk for we say, you know, counsel for the state. Go dinner court when we required for dinner court. You know, we can't stop for the other party. Thank you.
Concise, to the point. Now, Chief Immigration Officer. The question on Boku Smolo. Then say what's made the cost of passport still not stable despite the measure that we don't put in place. What's now the current price of saloon passports? How many months, weeks, or days it could take for let somebody get passports? If you accept say the old birth certificate for process a passport or you require new birth certificates and why? with they take for get a service passports. Can the chief immigration officer please update us in regards any payments we they don't make for departure and arrival at? I think I'd already addressed this one. I guess at the top of the because of that payments question. So this I will answer for you again. Then say, why can we not pay our passport fee at the bank and take the slip to immigration? If you not think see the current system in place, they supports corruption. What you don't put in place for stop all they want to be immigration worker, they will not they on payroll. I think you don't understand it comprehensively. So please, you don't need to go the back. Any plans there for less Salonians in the diaspora for renew their passports, you don't already address that day. They say the immigration department is chaotic. Why not introduce online passport application with NIN? I think you also address that day. So I think mostly the questioning for you now about cost of passport, process of passports, which some people require as service passports. See, I will take a quick, let them answer your question then.
Thank you very much again, Mr. Minister. When I concern, I'm concerned also. And I make sure say, I try my best for make sure say, we address them. The price of passport, we are concerned about. Of course, the price now 2,300,000 only on. As for today, even though people can say the $100 is because of the equivalent to the Leone, that's what it is. But now the contractor, where government give the contractor before where the dealer rules now be in charge of a passport and them just be the give the passport, just like how they give the they can print money for we. But now there is another person where they in between when the next page. The next page now get the now then they between now for do all the process of passports, for sell passport, for collect money and all. That's how they I can tell when I say I don't consider and tell exactly what they go on. But I can tell when I say me na for una I did for this country, I did for una would work towards to make it better in the very near future. Now, the other thing I go tell una, but what do you say concerning the service passport also, who is entitled? I will just read to a small number, I beg, Mr. Minister, the cabinet conclusion that has to do with service passports. Where these are one of the areas where Mr. frustrated with. Mr. Minister, yesterday the same thing happened. Some people they go for apply for service, and this is something I want to say the press. Lona talk to the don't make sure say the public servants and civil servants and for notice. You know, one of the things I like for owner is that the press, in as much as you never get much from we, but you guys are doing a good job. Not true. Now, this one thing I will say, these are the cabinet conclusion on service passport. It has also diplomatic passport also. This it says for service. On service passport, this is now page 5.6 on cabinet conclusion. On service passport, it was agreed in cabinet conclusion paper number in view of the fact that there are issues basically to facilitate movement of public servants on official duties abroad. It has to do with public servants going to out of this country representing institutions that has to do with government or institution has to do with your I mean you way to work for public service. The following categories of people or persons are eligible to carry Sierra Leone service passports. Before, it used to be parliamentarians. It has changed. Appointee of central and local government, for example, permanent secretary, chief executive of parastater, paramount chiefs, and all officials of state on official duty. These are the cabinet conclusion. Now, what did happen recently is that when we don't go, and if it don't happen, I'm quite sure, but maybe they put stop to them. Possibly they're not going to let me for that, but I think I'm trying to do the right thing for the institution. Some money apply where they say grade 7, and so the law say grade 7 for me you get service passport. But honestly, grade 7 says before you apply for that service passport day, you get for tell we say, I go Turkey or I go Russia for social function we go for the institution. There has to be an itinerary where they can, to me, for say, for example, the minister or this minister, for say, me pay the travel na social country, but now we send them. The minister for make sure say send a letter, we come on, we say come on, or from for confirm and say, yes, indeed, and they go, that go there. So That's how you carry a service, passport. It's not just passport, waiting for everybody. Now passports waiting for a reason, not for just for country come and use them otherwise. No.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now on our turn. I want to tell thanks to the one that we ask question online. On our continue for sending our questions online. Let's see the first 5. You know the rules. If you're there, please, I don't want to repeat myself again. So let's go number 5. Today we'll start with the power 90, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. I want to see people already around this table. That's it. No, you're not a journalist. Put your hand on. This is not for journalists then. Number 5, yes. Okay, good. So logo. Yes. Starts. Would I get the mic? With them people here where they put the mic now. Yeah, take one. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Chief Immigration Officer, sir, Mohammed
Yes.
Kamara, the Watch and Sangara Media newspaper. You there, as Chief Immigration Officer, when Belgium deported 2 Sri Lankans to Sierra Leone under the banner pushback, because they just take about 45 minutes transit at this airport, then go to declare as asylum, they not grant them. Instead of them taking them back to Sri Lanka, they can't deport them as left stranded. Why did the immigration, Nalungi, allow people to come, they enter undocumented, not only them, including other cases as well, when they equally deport other nationals them from other countries that with passport, something to testify the chairperson who's under, where in most cases they can go to human rights for aid. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. So we make they accept, and then actually more really important question we ask is, if you want passport, how much you expect for spend? How much now the total amount we expect for spend? So let's take the special court one because I feel that sharp, and then we'll go to the CIO.
Thank you very much. Direct answer to the question on whether we did get a special court for a second time, the answer is no. But maybe I'll just use this opportunity, just a few seconds, for clarify a few issues with probably the cause confusion. Yes, the special court been done, carry out a mandate, conduct prosecutions, and obtain convictions for persons bearing the greatest responsibility, been done close indoors. But then, after the court don't close indoors, the court also transition with support from the United Nations and, of course, and the government of Sierra Leone to what we call the residual special court, where basically now a small system we will continue to operate in country and partially in The Hague for handle some residual functions of the special courts, manage the court in archives, manage some of in legacy functions, like now we say manage the Peace Museum and the Peace Garden. If issues come up relating to maybe a fugitive, where the special courts being want, look at that. If, there's a need for review sentences, you get judges them where they on standby, we go able to look at all of that. So that is really a continued process. And of course, you get a registrar, Madam Binta Mansare, where they do a fantastic job. They manage this entire process. You get a blend of international and salon judges them within the residual function. But that is what it is. There is no new special court for Sierra Leone. The other thing I go add now that, the president don't make them very clear, say, the premises, inside the special courts being there, not supposed to be part of the court in legacy, and all continue for alarm for that way. So go, put effort in place for transform. That's it.
Now, based on the country where they exit from, for going to Belgium, and they not only count the normal so. I don't talk to the one that be in charge of Dandy, and they make sure say they interview them, then talk to them, and then say then come on and then they. And it's possible to say most of the people that went in there, most people the foreigners went in there so, where the Sri Lankans and Indians, they're based there so. Now they base. But then the Komoya for go seek asylum based on the conflict in the country. So then bring them Kanneh based on whose side and Komo, then country of origin, that's Sierra Leone, not Sri Lanka. That's the reason, Andy. And I can tell you one thing. They not just deport them in the way where you say they deport them. They deport them, there's a treaty that has to do with that country and the international law that has to do with migration, unnecessary migration. Now, I can tell you, say, we don't sign an MOU with the IOM for make sure, say, we do a safe and orderly migration returns and integration. We get, for the first time, we don't sign that MOU there with IOM. So I can tell you, that they happen for a reason because Nayan and Komo go out and Komo and they cover them back naturally.
Brilliant. You get all our question then. We then ask about passports, types of passports we'll get, and then what you don't do for, I think you don't have to guess illegal immigration issue, but also how much people then they for expect for spend. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
The difficult for CAM give you a statistics there on the passport they don't sell. I mean, for these few months, we don't need immigration. Back in Tay say, if the press want to know that sometimes it also has to do with national security. Yeah. If you want to talk to me, come to my office, law we engage accordingly on that day. Back in Tay say we're on track and the right thing is happening for the country. Now, we get different type of passport. I've done this, I think I've talked about that, I might just repeat myself. We get the ordinary passport. When I all my want at this place, the ordinary, when I the green. We get the diplomatic. When the minister gets, Nain get, Naomi get, nine other senior stakeholders. We then a governance, we qualify for get them. When a president forgive to go ahead for me get them. With the carry dandy. We get the service passports when the blue. The blue passports are for public servants and civil servants. Inside it. We get ETC, the emergency traveling certificate. Then a day, if you want travel where you not get passport for travel at that moment, where you know now urgent, we can give and also traveling document and we can make it travel out of the country. Those are the things that we have so far.
Thank you very much. How much for the passports? I think we don't talk on this now.
Exactly.
But the man may ask if you expect any other extra expenditure. We go for Google passport.
Make this clear. I think I talked earlier. Anybody who go immigration, they go lie per you say passport na 3 million. Tell us in a lie. Say na CI when I say passport and they go with the equivalent with the dollar, the rate of the dollar, according to the contractor where they get the contract to. Now so they put them. So to me, passport for today's day, because of what is happening today within the forex, that 2.3 million. Only owned.
And at the official,
yes, and the official money dandy or price dandy for passport.
All right. Thank you very much. I think we don't almost reach time for low close, but I want to see if we get any burning questions because it's a huge opportunity to get some very senior officials here. Immigration is such a huge issue, so I might extend this for like 5 minutes. Well, let's see how many hands up. This will be the final ones we take. Okay. So I'll start with the man with the hat, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. You only up also. You're not 4, no? You with it, yeah. Okay. No. Wait, please. May I go ahead? Go. Yes.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Me now,
I keep sharp.
I work for Epic Radio. And I just got one question, and to the commissioner. I know say you don't agree or you understand. Say there is an issue where they happen with between the management of FBC and the ministry. In your presentation, you make mention say one of the two that they do, that they mediate, that they talk and see how best one can bring peace. So I want to know what don't be the level of engagement between the commission and the college and as well as the ministry.
Thank you. Next.
Yes. So, me not to the minister. You say they don't reinstate the dissolved court when none happens.
That's what I say.
afternoon. My name is Amar Kagbo. I write for Sierra News newspaper. My question will go to Information Minister. Sir, you measure say China, based on the goodness that we get from the way, especially the debt cancellation. I wonder you tell the public here, waiting at the specific debt where China cancelled for Sierra Leone, and waiting at the debt where Sierra Leone owe China. Thank you.
Okay, I think there was another question behind here. Yeah?
Good afternoon, Abdullahi. To Madam Commissioner, of course, plenty complaints and keep talk at the admissibility stage. We part of my mandate for ensuring the promotion for raise awareness. So I want to go for actually ensure people get the awareness for filing a complaint, so get more successful complaint procedures. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I think the last question we will take. And then I get one more week come online where I will get to the Deputy Minister of Justice. Now, we know the status of the tripartite committee after a month since we have launched. I think people don't want to know updates on that. I think Mr. Immigration Chief, you feel like you don't answer all the questions that we get, so you are very comprehensive. Let me come to you, Madam Chair. FBC and the ministry, if we don't play any role in that, and waiting at the role when I don't play, and then complaints procedure. After that, I will come to you on the tripartite, and then I will take the one winner from you. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm answering to Mr. Vanden's question. On Frobe College, or the University of Sierra Leone, and also the Human Rights Commission, of course, we can do mediation. But I'm for making clear say, me now already a member of the committee set up by government for looking into the issues around the University of Sierra Leone. And that particular committee, they get a chairperson. Yesterday, we don't always second meeting. But since we get a lead person, I believe saying that info they're in the position for can respond to the particular questions about the outcomes of this meeting.
But we're not engaged.
Yeah, we don't engage, yes. We don't engage, yes.
And then complaints.
And the issue of complaints, I think he got his question wrong. He said, why admissible complaints is stock? Of course, admissible complaint not go stock because for the fact it is admissible, if we're not within the jurisdiction of the commission, when they made the commission, I guess now, complaints that are inadmissible, not further within the jurisdiction of the commission. But when I've been explained, I make them very clear, say, as a commission, we collaborate with other partners. We get what we call the referral partnership group, where if you go with a complaint, also if for them, we direct the complaint to the particular partner, and we also do monitoring on that issue there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Honorable Deputy Minister, please just give a quick update on the tripartite, and also, one of the lead actors, the way they represent the government of Salone inside that tripartite, to do a press conference specifically with people and see. I think can be acknowledged the leadership role you play. I think a lot of people that we not to know is one of the critical actors that they help for advance that process because you get background and your relationship. Just people, I see say by the way today 2 newspaper headlines suggest say the tripartite committee stalled or somehow problem did it. Do you just clarify?
Thank you very much, Minister, and to the person who asked that question there, and the opportunity for clarify. First, make us start with the last point. The tripartite committee in work not stall. Matter of fact, the committee meeting I come out with Akanayaso. Even Minga for left the other committee members for continue the work or the deliberations whilst me can. So of course, as the minister mentioned, we all been see as per resolution 3, now the mediation agreement, we been for start from scratch, and put together terms of reference of the committee. We take 1 month for do that. We really that not be the prescribed time. So for done within 1 month, we not do that. And since the we conclude and sign and launch the terms of reference, we don't get to other aspects of the committee in work, developing other documents, including the delivery framework, planning for outreach, planning for engagement with various actors, including the electoral management bodies, looking at the various institutions we get for do with the conduct of elections in this country. So, looking at the challenges and waiting we go recommend going forward, and also looking at the legal framework for the conduct of elections. So the committee don't continue for work. I'm not go able to get into like the nitty-gritties because the committee really gets a protocol we don't put in place for how we get for the engage with the public, how we get for the engage with various constituents, and but be rest assured that this process will be very transparent and we'll make sure say we engage with all for provide information on a regular basis. But if anybody say the tripartite committee in work don't stall, no, it has not. It go on very well, and the committee they work really as one for make sure say we deliver on the mandate where the mediation agreement give way. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. On me own question, and I make Alec for talk Creole so people will understand. To make an like English beaucoup because English can lead to misunderstanding. So let us talk back. Para kaneke Creole asabi. Abe mi comme on a dit bon, kaneke a des talk tranga Creole, mi Creole clean. So do ya annoncer the university courts don't already be constituted. I say the process they underway. That means the minister don't start for take the step them for let them go constitute the university courts. That process they include they get for consult, they get for get nomination. In fact, even set up first a normalization committee where be include representatives and from different sectors then, based on the recommendation from the Teaching Service Commission. This now after Teaching Service Commission may recommend to the minister take steps, then may dissolve the courts, then be appoint a caretaker group interim where they provide the normalization for lead to this oversight. Now that process they don't start, and I announced to una say first they don't appoint an acting vice chancellor, we now Professor A. Leby. The courts and then the process for put the courts together for do it in time and make sure say no delay no happen at all. So do I know want to come on I see minister don't go reports. I think I've been read small by English and I can lead for this problem. And the other one about the debts. Now good question. But we debt situation with multiple countries, it complex and it includes various relationships. What we see happen where His Excellency go is the Chinese government basically with total debts who owe them pull 20 million yuan per that debt day. So not to per specific one say, oh, don't cancel this. So we owe them plenty money. You say, okay, as a sign of goodwill in this relationship, this debts we get, the Salon government debts are the minus 20 million of the currency per that money day. If you are asked about with total government debts with Salon government owe, both external and internal and Ministry of Finance, we will give that information there. If now something you're interested in specifically, actually, like you put this public. It's a public information. Even if you wouldn't cover, I will definitely ask. And next week, I will try to provide an update. If journalists were interested, if you're really interested, you're an economics reporter, you can send that question to me directly. And as always, I will go out of my way for get the answer and bring an to you. On that very happy note, it's not time for bring the curtain down on this press conference. I'll take this opportunity for tell thank you to the fantastic panelists that will get here today. The chairperson for the Human Rights Commission, Madam Patricia Nansu Ndanema, the Deputy Minister of Justice, my own brother, Honorable Alpha Sise. I feel say I go do bad if I not calling your nickname. You don't call me nickname na today plenty. In your nickname today. In nickname na Lingi. Aha, Uda Sabia Unoa for the Lingi loss. So now the Honorable Lingi loss 90s. And then, of course, nobody no ask me the meaning of that name day. Please. That is not so for press conference. Of course, we brother Honorable Alusine Kanneh, where they do a fantastic job as the country chief immigration officer. I want to take this opportunity for tell thank you to our partner there when at the ceremony or WhatsApp where they provide WhatsApp to all and we all Naya. SL Media where they help make sure so we get good quality stream live. I want to tell thank you to the sign language people where they make sure so we inclusive. I want to tell thank you to Orange Salo where they give you internet, Ministry of Foreign Affairs where they host we. All from the various media houses that people in Asalo where they follow we. Until next week, we will come back same time for the government press conference. Assalamu alaikum.